Whoa! Oh, sorry, that was very loud. I'm a bit late with the transition there, but hello everyone and welcome to GRS. Once again, we're in Hungary, my favourite track, everybody. We're at my favourite track. So it's going to be fantastic action throughout. No energy management required around here, just pure flat out-ish. You still have to lift a bit. Racing. And walls are close, lots of corners. It's going to be good. Now, if you're wondering why we're 7 minutes late, it's because nobody's joining. Why is anyone not here today? I don't know. But I have a surprise. Look at this button I've made. I've made a button. But why is it on 10? Today, as a mission to the F1 TV directors of real life, I am going to try and track and capture every single overtake that happens in this race. With this lovely little button here. Look at that. Look at all these overtakes. It's going to be great. It's going to be difficult, but I'm going to prove to them that they can do it. They can watch the midfield and watch the front runners. No problem whatsoever. Anyway, that's going to be great. Before we do that, let's have a look at the standings, which are on Chrome today because I was busy making a script, getting ChatGPT, Google AI mode to make me a script that does a counter. Fantastic. Jaden Jackson is 30 points clear. Look at him. And of Flobberlob. But he's not here today. Can we confirm that? Is he not here today? He is not here today. So that means that gap could close. Is Flobberlob here today? No, he's not here either. Also, I've moved this off the screen. Sorry about that. There you go. It should be big now. Flobberlob is also not here. Rogerwell, I think, is also not here. And Yarrow may not be here. No, no one's here. None of them are here. So actually, who cares about the championship? Let's just get rid of that and go back to this screen. Highly professional stream so far. We got Dricard on track. We've got David Hoy. Let's get all the things. That's not. We don't need that. We need that. There we go. We're ready. 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Callum Pearce. Already in the session we have a 5-place grid pen. That could be a restart after the session. I don't think I've heard of any rain in this session or next, which is a shame. I would like to see some rain. But anyway, we're going to start off by watching David Hoy on this qualifying lap. And unlike last week, I will be the one talking it through because I forgot to mention Luke is not here. He's abandoned me. Yeah. It's very sad. We should have a minute's silence. But I'm back by myself, which means my voice will be ruined by the end of this, if it chooses to be. And that you will all be bored of me. But anyway, here we go then. Is he doing a double out lap? No, he's pushing out the final corner. We can't see throttle traces because the game is still broken. And here we go, down to the start-finish straight. Already down to 50% battery. You want to probably... Yeah, I wish we could see none and medium. That would be good. Into turn 1 we go. Second gear, shifting up to third on the exit. Now straight mode open for the second of 4 straight modes on this track. Into turn 3, a little bit of lock-up, a little bit of sliding wide through there. And a bit of oversteer on exit. Bang in some more overtake mode for another short straight mode section here. Into the end of sector 1, it's a 26.9. That's a bit wide of the apex, bit of understeer there. Now into turn 6. I think it's... No, turn 5. Now into the driving centre chicane. This has a new name, and it's actually memorable because it's such a terrible name. Now through what I think is Buda and into Pest. Terrible names of corners. Or maybe this is Pest. I'm not sure. Turn 11 now. Bit of unstable on the curbs around there. And now heading into sector 3. Decent battery usage so far, down to 20%. We'll harvest a bit here as the car slides with a bit of a lock-up in the braking zone. A little bit more overtake juice to get the best exit out of the corner. And now the final corner up to the line. What's it going to be as an opening time for David Hoy here? He's run out to the line, but that's okay. It's a 16.5 opening time of the day. Marco has loads of batteries, so he will surely improve on his next run from this, and it's going to be an 18.3 for him. Who is next? Stuart Bradbury is next to cross the line. What this does mean with the top 5 not being here is a big chance for a midfield driver to get big points today and get a win or a podium. That is always nice to come by here in GRS, of course. We've had Yarrow, Flobolob, Jaden and a couple other drivers kind of dominating at the top recently. As we see the Aston Martin go for a 17.0. Who is this McLaren? I need to know. Who are you? Justin. Justin van Delmen. Welcome. You may have been here before, but your name is... Oh, it actually says Justin on it. I'll remember that. Who's next? Caleb White. Whitey McWhiteface. Bit of a slide there. In the driving centre chicane. Using 4th gear through here. Is this a... this is a push lap. I think. A little bit unstable on the curbs there. 55.7 after 2 sectors. What's it going to be now? Round to this final sort of 180-degree hairpin here. It's not the final one. There's another one here. It's just a bit of a wider radius. As the pit lane entry peels off to the right-hand side. And we go up through the gears, up to the line. You've got plenty more battery than David Hoy did, but it's an 18.0. Quite some big gaps early doors here in this session, as Bakalik has invalidated his time. And Conor McCabe goes P2, making it an Aston Martin 2 and 3 at this moment in time. Let's have a look at the Audi boys. Mitch once again on intermediate tyres, as he likes to do. And he's actually blocking Tyler, is he? No, he's not. Tyler's not on a lap. He has invalidated his time there. Actual F2 lobby. F3 lobby, yeah, I mean, these times are questionable. I'm expecting Formula Leon to put to change that, as he has been one of the drivers who's got podiums so far this season. So let's go on board for the full thing with Formula Leon. Let's get rid of some of the graphics. Yes. And let's see what he can do. Down towards turn 1, already off the battery here. No lift from him into that corner. A little bit wide of the apex, but gets a good exit to make up for it. Maybe we'll get a tad bit of slipstream from the Audi ahead of him. That is that Mitch on intermediate tyres? It looks like it. Is he going to get out of the way? Just about. As straight mode opens here. Up towards turn 4, one of my favourite corners on the track. You just throw it in. Try not to invalidate. Ooh! That was very tight. He's got away with it on the game, but I wouldn't be sure if that was not all 4 wheels off the track. Now into 6 and 7. Well, I'm not going to say that. We're not going there. Through turn 8 and 9. All very nice so far, it looks like. No major mistakes I can see. Turn 11, is he going to run wide here? No, keeps it on the track. And now into sector 3. 3rd gear for this corner. Using all of the road, bit of curve on the right hand side into this turn 14, I think. I forget the numbers now. Flicking it into the final corner. Overtake on as soon as possible out the final corner to get the best exit. Straight mode open, to the line we go. It's P2 for Formula Leon. It's a 16.5 just behind David Hoy, who currently leads the way. Doing very well. And Mitch is still driving around on intermediate tyres. Also, in that, Callum's on P3 with the 16.5 himself. I don't know when that happened. But that is solid. Apparently he's capable of a 15.6 according to the admins in the chat. I'll believe it when I see it. Ooh, this is a good time to test overtake counter placement. What do we think of that? That looks awful, doesn't it? Can I change the colour? Colour? Ooh. What colour should we have the overtake counter? I need thoughts. Green is not good, is it? Ooh. No, we can't have green. Where should I put it? And what? It should be on the left, really, shouldn't it? Yes. Sorry, everybody. Let's move some things around here. How about that? but not green, obviously. Green is awful. Didn't I test it at the start? I did test it, but I didn't test the placement. You see? Let's, we'll go with white, I guess. White is good. Put the words underneath. Underneath this? Is this okay? I don't know. Anyway, Callum Pearce is on a lap here. We'll go with this. Right, I'll turn it off for now. Go away. And I have no idea how good it is because I've been fiddling with counters. Oh, he's driving off the track and into the pit lane. Good stuff. Marco, what are you up to? He's, I think, pushing, but he's already used 70% of his battery here, so I've got to harvest some in the middle sector. Very easy to do here, of course. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue for him, although he's already out. This can't be. He's marginally down on his first sector, and he's invalidated at turn 4. Bakalik's in the pit lane with an invalid time. What about Tyler? Reserving up for Alpine today. And driving off the track in the process. What about Justin? Currently P6 on a 17.2. Plenty of time to be found. This is an Audi off the side of the track there. Who's that? No, it's not Mitch. I'm surprised. Tyler's full-time. Oh, full-time driver today. Who am I watching? Justin, yes. Purple sector 2, according to the game. We know that's false, probably. Or is it? Is he going to pull time out of the bag around the final corner? Here we go. Bit tight in there, took a couple stabs at it. Across the line we go, it's P5. 4/10 improvement into the 16s with a 1:16.8. Conor McCabe, he's challenging for pole position today. He's really flicking in the wheel there as Marco decides he wants to start at the back of the grid. What is this flicking from Conor McCabe? This is very aggressive. Maybe this is the way to go. Surely not for your tyres. As he runs wide at turn 11 and will not be able to improve as he was a 10.5 up there. What is a good time? Like, obviously we got a 16.5, but you know, what is F1 tomorrow? Which is often not as good as F2 actually, but today, this week, I think it will be. I've not done any practice is more why I'm asking. I don't want to like say, oh, I've done a 16.4, beat the F2 time, and then actually that's rubbish. You know, F1 pole will be 1.5 seconds quicker than this. Okay, good to know. Formula Leon. Who's finishing a lap? Aston Martin crossing the line. Will they do a Fernando Alonso and get some points here? No. Still 5 minutes to go in this session. That's an invalidation for Formula Leon. The understeer at turn 4 strikes again for him. And it looks like nobody is on a lap. Damn. Mitch, you going to set an actual time? No. Okay. 50-0. That's crazy. What do you need zero-rear ring for around here? There's many corners. And all the straights have straight mode. Pretty much. Yeah. Anyway, Daniel Bakalik hasn't set a time yet. So he's going to have to do that. And we're going to judge him. This is a yellow flag. In sector 1, no problem there. Can we have some predictions for how many overtakes are going to be in this race? Recorded by the official overtake counter, by the way. So if I miss one, it doesn't count. 20, 30, 40, 37. I don't really know. I think that's a good guess. There's only 13 drivers, so there can't be that many. And we're not counting pit lane overtakes, of course. It has to be an on-track overtake that I catch on the camera. I'm going to go 26. I'm a bit more pessimistic. 3 each. Yeah, that's a good point. Should we exclude lap 1 in this as well? Do we include lap... Because I don't know if I can count lap 1. Or we can just, like, put in a bunch of... we can just guess how many were on lap 1. We'll exclude sector 1. Okay, I like that. Yeah, because it's very hard to overtake here after there anyway. Oh, that's an invalid lap again for Daniel Baklik. How was he getting on compared to his previous... He hasn't done any times. Stupid question there. I would have thought he would have at least completed an invalid time, maybe. But no. He was on for pole. Oh dear. He's going round again. He's going round for another lap. No, he's invalidated at final corner. He's going to do a cool down lap and then go again for one more. Moving on to Conor McCabe. He's going into the final sector now. What's his middle sector split going to be? 2 tenths up. This is going to challenge pole position of David Hoy right now. Once again, the flicking steering wheel is extreme, in my opinion. But is it fast? One more corner to go. Doesn't flick it in this time. Nice and controlled. On the power on exit. Straight mode deployed. And it's pole position provisionally for Conor McCabe with a 16.4. But will it be beaten? Callum Pearce is on a lap. He's a 10th up himself. And that could easily challenge. Into sector 3 we go. Who will get the better run? That's a very nice turn 12. Down into 3rd gear through here. This is looking nice and controlled from Callum Pearce, using all of the track on the left hand side there, just missing the grass. Out the final corner we go. Straight mode opened. I nearly said DRS. And it's pole position of 16.3. Even half a tenth clear at the top of the times. And is anyone else on a lap? David Hoy is on a lap. Is he going to be improving? He originally has set the provisionally pole time here with a 16.5 for most of the session. He's 2 tenths up himself. This is tracking for pole position. Here he goes then. No mistakes. And it should be enough for David Hoy, my former teammate, to take pole position as he has a huge slide out the final corner. Will that cost him? As he crosses the line, it's fastest. 3.5 tenths up on his previous best. Makes it a 16.1. As his teammate Stuart Bradbury starts the lap, so does Mitch. Is anyone on a lap that is halfway around the track? I don't know. Callum Pearce? No, he's still going round again. Conor McCabe starting another time. So he might get another lap in here. So David is done. That is his session over. That is the time to beat. Will anyone beat it? Caleb's lagging all over the place, but a 10th up after one sector. What's Baklik up to? He's on a lap. He's 6.5 seconds up on his previous best of a 27.0. Big slide out of turn 12. No, 13. At the final corner. One time only for Baklik. What's it going to be? It's P6. Right in the middle of the field. Will anyone beat it? Stuart Bradbury's entering sector 3 himself. He's matching his previous best of a 17.3. It's not going to be pole position for him as he's very hot into turn 12. Runs off the track. Caleb White has invalidated. He'll be P10 at best here. How is Justin getting on? He's a couple of tenths up. Callum Pearce went P2. I didn't see that. Oh no, I did see that. He just crossed the line and improved. Anyway, Stuart to the line. P8.1. Justin is next in the McLaren. He's a 10.5 up and he stays P5 despite that improvement. Conor McCabe's going again and he can't improve again. There's an Audi off. My shock, it's Mitch on intermediate tyres. Tyler goes P6, I think. Formula Leon round the final corner is the last person who can deny David Hoy, but he can't do it. Unless Jack's got a miracle in him. It will be the Haas driver on pole position. Out the final corner we go for the Cadillac. Is it going to put him in the mid-pack? P11. Just ahead of the two Audis, who are tactically sitting at the back. Marco with that grid penalty, don't think he will care about that. So there you have it. Not a bad qualifying session. David Hoy on pole by 0.2 of a second from Callum Pearce, Conor McCabe, Formula Leon, Justin, Tyler, Daniel Bakalik, Emily, Stuart, Caleb rounding up top 10, followed by Jack Cocaine and the two Audis propping up the rear, trying to do a last to first. Please, fingers crossed. There's your race director if you want to see that. David on pole is something you wouldn't expect to see. Well, this is true. He usually comes through the field. Well, actually, you should add David on pole at a track that isn't Baku. Something you shouldn't expect to see. Will he hold on to it? We'll see. Let's get the overtake counter on the screen. There we go. Does it work? Yes. Good stuff. Good stuff. The button for it's slightly blocked by my microphone, but we will deal with that when we get there. I know, technical wizardry, huh? Where's the rain gone, said Mitch. What rain? Rain? Is it supposed to be raining now? Because if so, it could start at any minute. Or it could have just passed. Anyone know about the weather forecast? No. Connor, what's the weather forecast? Tell me. Before you're ready. There was supposed... Oh. Who knows if there's going to be any rain? It is a bit dark out here. But I don't see any rain. What I do see is 5 red lights and 13 cars on the grid. And the lights are gone and we are racing here in Hungary, 35 laps ahead of us. And it's a good start for David Hoy on pole position. He streaks ahead. But no, he doesn't. Callum Pearce actually 3 wide for the leaders. What am I talking about? Formula Leon's gone from 3rd to 1st up the inside of David Hoy and Callum Pearce, who tries to switch it back on him. And he's lost 2 places at the start here. But will he be under pressure here from the Ferrari around the outside? No, the Red Bull takes the lead. David Hoy is still fighting it for P2. Conor McCabe following through in 4th place at the moment, followed by Tyler, who's made a few places off the start. And David and the Ferrari are still side by side. He actually regains that place and is up into 2nd place here in this race. There is a bit of rain in the air. Is there a bit of rain in the air? No, it's just a visual glitch. As Mitch here is side by side. Is he going to go up the inside here? I'm going to wait till the end of lap 1 for the overtake counter. This is too much. Side by side here. There's also a battle for P4. Tyler's gone a bit wide. Conor McCabe is... oh, somebody's off in the background. That's Caleb White. He's got a bit of damage. Let's get all the things we need to see on the screen. This is going to be an overtake. Is it? Conor McCabe on Tyler. Has he got past? Has he maintained that position? Yes, he has. Overtake number 1, everybody, in this race. We'll say after Sector 2. We're starting after Sector 2. What is that? That stops. I want tyres. Everybody on the medium tyres. Is there going to be any rain falling as... who's that running wide? Is that the McLaren or is that the Audi of Mitch, who I think is under severe pressure here from the Cadillac of Jack Cocaine? Could it be overtake number 2 of this race here? Up the inside. But he's not managed to make it stick. Moving back up towards the front then. David is all over the back of Formula Leon. Is he going to go for a move into turn 4? That would be potentially dangerous. So he decides against it. What a great zoomed in camera angle that is. Why are we so zoomed in here? Tyler defending now from Justin. He's going all the way around the outside of turn 5. That could be overtake of the day, but he doesn't make it stick. Anyone else trying to get past it? Why is the offboard so zoomed in? Am I missing something out here? What's going on? Can we have a heli cam shot or something, please? Honestly, I can't see a thing. And no rain as of yet. I think that is not going to come to fruition, especially with people on hard tyres. As up the inside goes Callum Pearce on David Hoy. Can he make it stick for the overtake counter? Ooh, I don't know. Round the outside now of turn 13. And David Hoy is holding on and just hold on. Does that count? I don't think that counts. He didn't make the overtake stick. No. Why is the offboard so zoomed in? Am I missing something? Is it just the track? Because all the offboards are... There we go. That's much better. I can actually see what's going on. Goodness me. David once again with way less battery than Formula Leon getting a good run up towards turn 4. But it's not going to be enough to make a move as the top 4 has bolted. And there's an overtake. Stuart Bradbury's lost a place to Justin. And I think Emily might be under some pressure here from the Audi. No, backs out of it. Does Mitch here. Cams are a track issue. Alt 4 for a shot. Alt F4. No, we will not be doing that. Okay, well, onboard cameras it is then. Around here, that's a wide run from Stuart Bradbury. He won't be under pressure though. From the Aston. Let's see, back out in front. We have to wait for maybe some pit stops to get some proper overtakes in this race, I think. As we head on to lap 4 now. Of 35. Already a bit of field spread forming with Tyler dropping off the back of the top 4. But he's closely followed by 6 cars behind him. Let's go back to this train and see if there's any movement in it. As Mitch is under significant pressure, maybe. No. Everybody seems to be calm and collected for now. He says, as somebody's making a move, and I'm missing it. Marco gets past Daniel Backlick. That's an overtake. We're up to 3. As there's another move potentially here. Jack O'Kane gets past Mitch. I'm missing all the overtakes. Oh, he's left the session. Does that count? We'll count it. He's been outdone by an AI. Let's invite him back. That is not Mitch. That's not Mitch. There we go. Mitch has been passed by an AI car. That doesn't count. We're not counting that. Take a shot for every overtake. Goodness me. You're welcome to play that along at home. I don't have enough hands for that. I have to pour now and then switch cameras. No. Will there be a move for the lead here? David Hoy is thinking about a lunge under the brakes. It's not quite close enough to make it stick. He does still have less battery than Formula Leon. So Formula Leon has the pace over David at the moment. Here is Stuart Bradbury going for a move around the outside. A little bit of contact between the Haas and the McLaren, and Stuart runs wide. Will he get past by the Aston Martin here, who's going to have a great run up towards turn 4. Straight mode Bollard has been taken out there, but no overtake there. Oh, finally a helicam shot. This is what we like to see. Stuart closing in on the McLaren. Maybe getting another warning there at the driving centre chicane for track limits. He looked like he hopped over the curbs there. But yeah, field spread continuing to spread out here a little bit. We've still got Tyler being a bit of a bottleneck here in P5. As the Aston Martin driver is kind of all over the back. Let's have a look at positions gained. That suggests there are more overtakes than there actually have been, but post Sector 2 of lap 1, only 3 actual overtakes. David Hoy once again closing in on the leaders. Same with the Aston Martin driver looking up the inside. Can he set up the move down towards turn 3? No, he can't. Or turn 2 even. Gets a little snap of oversteer, and that punishes his chance. As Stuart runs a bit deep, but will not be under any pressure here. David Hoy's managed to equalise the battery a little bit here. Maybe there was a mistake from Formula Leon. Still plenty of dark clouds around, but I don't think we're getting any rain. David might have a good chance here. He's got 60% battery. Both of them do, actually, despite the overtake mode for the car behind. Let's see, will he have a go on this little straight here? Probably the second best overtaking opportunity on the track. Maybe turn 4 is one of them as well. David Hoy, will he go for it here? He's surely going to set one up into turn 1. Maybe the tyres of the Red Bull are dying a bit quicker than the Haas here. Oh, big slide for David Hoy, and he's going to be under pressure when he thought he had the chance. Callum Pearce in the Ferrari will be licking his lips now and looking for a move, but David has enough battery to fend him off. There's a yellow flag. Daniel Backlick, he's had a mistake at the final corner. Will he be passed by Mitch? No, he won't. So the top 4 still very close to one another. David's used a lot more out of that corner there. Formula Leon doesn't feel like it's necessary, and it wasn't. He runs a bit wide though, might have got a warning. Might have got a warning. Then we've got another 4 cars between 5th and 8th, very close together. Oh, Stewart's got loads of battery, and both of them do actually. But he looks like he's got the pace over Justin at this moment in time. As I've seen, oh, I've missed an overtake. Backlick was off the track. Does that count? I've already put it on the counter, so we can't take it off. Here we go. Stewart's a bit wide. Aston Martin's looking for a lunge. Just as I said, Stewart had some pace. He's made a couple of mistakes and fallen back as David Hoy's pulled into the pit lane. A very early stop for the Haas driver, the pole sitter. And he's going to tumble down the order and committing to that 2-stop strategy. Strategy is very variable around here, I've been told. Lots of options for the drivers. What tyres is he going on? I'm assuming the hards. Yes, it is a set of hard tyres. He comes out at the back of the train in 12th position. And because of that, the top 3 have just creeped out of 1 second of each other as everyone runs wide at this corner. Looks like the tyre wear is starting to be a problem for these drivers. 8 laps into this race, especially the medium runners. I expect the Aston Martin on hards to be a bit better. And Stewart's had a half spin. And he's been passed by 3 cars. Which is 3 overtakes. I think that counts as an overtake. We're taking it. Why not? Oh, I've missed something else. Jack Kane's had a little moment. He's been passed. I'm not seeing half of these overtakes. But they are happening as Callum Pearce is next to come into the pit lane. And Conor McCabe will take P2. So David had an undercut on Callum, but he was already ahead, so he should maintain that. As into the pits comes the Cadillac, oh no, the Haas of Stuart Bradbury, who was struggling on those mediums, obviously had that spin, and has now pulled into the pit lane. There's an overtake. David Hoy out of the pits, fresh tyres, and gets past Daniel Backlick for our 10th overtake of the race in 9 laps. We're on course for 1 a lap here, but part of that is because of some people spinning. Is he going to go for a double move here into turn 4? Surely not. No, but he has clearly the freshest tyres and the fastest car of anybody right now. Could he undercut his way to the lead? He's going to go for it here in towards the driving centre chicane. That's an overtake. An actual proper one as well. And now he's got 5 seconds of clear air to push into to try and undercut Formula Leon, who might be coming into the pits this lap. If he isn't, he will be on a 1-stop probably. And he does stay out. Will this be a 1-stop for Formula Leon? Conor McCabe, it certainly isn't. He's into the pits, so is Tyler. Justin stays out for another lap. Emily on the hard tyres stays out for another lap. Marco's into the pits. Daniel Baklik is all over the back of Mitch, who both stay out. Will there be a move here for the Mercedes driver? 100% battery out this final corner here too. Mitch was all twitchy on his rear end as David Hoy sets the fastest lap of the race. And here comes the Mercedes driver up the inside. Laid on the brakes. Nicely done. Is there a fight back from Mitch? There is, you know. Does this count as 2 overtakes? I think it will. If he gets it done, he's side by side. Can he make the second move stick? Oh, he clashes into him and makes it stick. That's 2 overtakes. And he gets done by Callum Pearce as well. That's an overtake. We're up to 14 somehow. Good stuff. Callum Pearce, fresh out the pits, is more than 5 seconds back compared to David Hoy. This undercut has been very powerful. And here, look at the extra grip he's got to get past Mitch. That's another overtake. Up to 15. Conor McCabe around the outside of Daniel. Little burst of overtake mode. And he's passed. 16. I'm saying the word overtake too much now. Here comes Zemeli. This would be a really good overtake as he goes up the inside. On the hard tyres, of course, compared to the mediums. And he's through. Bosh. There's more going on as Mitch has been passed by him. And Jack Kane's been passed by David. Mitch trying to fight it back on Conor McCabe. But he can't do it. He's got no grip. Absolutely no grip. And he's going to be passed by Tyler too here. Who goes into the back of him and loses a bit of his front wing. He broke so late. But there was no space ahead of him to do that. And that is Tyler's race severely compromised. That left end plate is missing. And he could have been a bit more patient there. Mitch did nothing wrong. He was taking his line. There was no space on the outside of him. And Tyler just didn't appreciate the difference in grip between the two cars. And now there's quite a few gaps forming. Let's have a look at the tyre life actually, because quite a few people have pitted now. And we'll be on different strategies. As Tyler made a mistake and lost 2 places. Screw it. That's 2 overtakes. I'm taking it, even though I didn't see him. This is not an overtake because he's in the pit lane. Daniel Baklik pulls into the pits as Conor McCabe sets the fastest lap of the race. I'm not doing a good job of proving to the TV directors that they can catch every move. But a lot of these moves, as Tyler retires in the pit lane, are because of people making mistakes. If I had a replay button, I'd use it. You know? But in terms of live overtakes, I think I've caught all of them. As there's a move here, Jack Cockayne letting past, almost, Callum Pearce on fresh tyres. As Jack has some damage on that end plate, I believe I saw. Yep, missing an end plate. What about the 2 Audis? One of them on fresh tyres, one of them surely going for a 1-stop at this point. Will there be any team orders here? Between the 2 of them, Marco cruising up to the back of Mitch. Doesn't need team orders, he's already through with the superior grip. Or is he? Side by side with the 2 Audis. Will there be contact between the 2 of them? As Jack Cockayne pulls into the pits, no. Marco just swoops cleanly around the outside. And that is our 23rd overtake of the race. As, I don't know what happened there, a bit of ghosting. But Marco stays ahead. Oh no, it's a bit of lag. He's left the session. Oh no. And this will not count as an overtake because it's on a ghost car. Marco has left the session. Both Audis plagued with internet issues. And I think he might be offline. M. Do I even have him? Surely I have Marco. No. Hold on. The AI of Marco is keeping up with Mitch here. Oh, he's back. He's back. The AI is still keeping up with Mitch, though. That is quite impressive. Will we get to see another overtake between the two Audis? Oh! There goes Stuart Bradbury. Getting past the ghost car in no time at all. And now he's onto the back of Mitch. Can he make it? Two Audis in two corners. No, he's going to have to wait until the main straight here. Or is he going to go around the outside? He's got 100% battery to deploy. This will be the easiest overtake of the race. As Marco's trying to get up the inside, though. It's going to be side by side between the two of them. We could see a double overtake here as both the Haas and the Audi are trying to get past the Audi as David Hoy has got past. And back to these guys. Up the inside goes Stuart Bradbury on Mitch Snake. Will he be able to maintain the position? He runs very deep, but he has the better traction in towards turn 2 and the inside line coming up as well. That is a complete overtake from the Haas driver, and it's overtake number 25 of this race, and there's 26 as Marco goes past Mitch. So we're already at the number I predicted. And yes, you're right, David has nearly caught up a full pit stop on the two leaders who are doing a one-stop in this race. The two-stop is looking the favourable strategy at the moment. Marco still following Stuart. He's gone for a medium tyre for his second stint in this race. So as we said before, strategy variation, very possible at this track. Anyway, on towards the battle for the lead, really. As David Hoy is closing on the Aston of Emily, doing the one-stop hard to medium. Or maybe he's still doing a 2, I'm not sure about that. And of course, Formula Leon 3.7 ahead now. Here comes David Hoy with great traction. And he's through, no problem at all. No problem at all. No problem at all. What about Marco? Can he get past similarly aged tyre Stuart, who runs very deep and puts himself under severe pressure, but Marco doesn't get the best exit. So they will keep fighting for a few more corners. But ultimately, it's not going to be enough. These guys' goal is ultimately to work together to try and gain on the cars ahead. Those one-stoppers of Justin in P4. Oh, have I switched off when there's an overtake going? No. Marco all over the back of Stuart, though, is really struggling. 6 laps into his hard stint. Not enjoying the setup of his car. As into the pits comes your race leader, Formula Leon, when the gap was about 2 and a bit seconds between him and David Hoy. I don't think that's a big enough gap to win this race, but we'll have to see his pace in this second stint as Justin also comes into the pit lane. Which means only Mitch is out there on the mediums he started on. And here comes Marco on Stuart up the inside of the final corner. They're going to be side by side on the exit. Who will have the more boost mode to deploy? Stuart's using all of it. Marco's using all of his. Is he going to go for a lunge up the inside? Stuart leaves the door open as he rightfully should. A big snap of oversteer for Marco means he doesn't complete the overtake. And if these guys keep squabbling, as Stuart goes in deep again, and they're going to be side by side into turn 3. Marco trying to hold it around the outside and continue this battle all the way towards the high-speed left-hander of turn 4. Justin has spun on pit exit, or exiting the pits on his outlap, and there's the position for Marco, finally. But yeah, Justin has spun and lost a couple of places. I don't think I should count that, but whatever. Can he get past Mitch after spinning? He was going to be on the back of Marco and Stuart, and now he's 8 seconds back. Really unfortunate spin for him, but he will drive past Mitch like it's nobody's business. There we go. Back up in a P7. And that is overtake number 30 because he only lost 1 place in that spin. So David Hoy leads on the 2-stop strategy from the Aston Martin, who's doing a 1-stop but hasn't He started on the hard, so he hasn't pitted. Callum Pearce is doing a 2-stop and gaining on the Aston. The other Aston, Conor McCabe, is doing a 2-stop and also gaining on his teammate. And Formula Leon is doing a 1-stop and has just come out the pits and going to the end on these hards. But currently has a gap to David Hoy of 16.5 seconds. Who's your money on? David, Formula Leon, Callum Pearce, Conor McCabe. Still a few contenders. And Stewart's trying to hold on to Marco now that he has the overtake mode. Extra harvesting power, extra deploy power. And he seems to be doing that, but again, he's struggling on the brakes. Going in very deep at certain corners as Callum Pearce flies past. Into turn 1 on the Aston Martin. There's back up into P2 in this race as Formula Leon sets the fastest lap. Next up, well, no, not next up. What am I talking about? Next up for the Aston Martin is his teammate trying to overtake him. When will they pull into the pits? If they're going on to mediums, like another 8 laps at least. That's wide, and that's going to be a warning for Conor McCabe. Will anyone get a time penalty that costs them in this race? Only seen the one so far from Mitch. Here comes Conor McCabe. Absolutely breezes past his teammate, who doesn't burn any battery. Bit of team orders there. But team orders or not, let's overtake number 32 of this race. Stewart and Marco keeping together after they've swapped positions. Maybe Stewart's tyres now starting to be the better ones of the two, as well as obviously having that overtake to keep him in touch, as Daniel Bakeley has spun at the final corner again and got some damage on that end plate, and he will now see the Audi of Mitch in his mirrors. So here he is, David Hoy leading, 7.4 clear. That's who I wanted to see. Mitch flies past Daniel Bakeley into turn 4. Formula Leon has caught up to his fellow one-stopper of Emily, and into the pits comes Marco and Stewart for their second and final stops. Stewart nearly speeds, locking up, but he doesn't. Here comes Formula Leon going around the outside, potentially, and then turns for the inside, but he has to back out of it because there wasn't any room into turn 3, and Emily is holding on here, maybe to help his teammate out a little bit on their 2-stop strategy, but they go wide at turn 5, and that's going to open the door for an easy pass for Formula Leon up into P4. There we go. No, that's not an overtake. So David Hoy 7.7 clear at the front. He's 10 clear of Formula Leon, but he still needs to keep going and then chase him down at the end with fresh tyres, just like Marco and Stewart are now doing on the other drivers such as Jack Kane and Justin ahead of them. 12 seconds the gap as Emily finally boxes to put on the mediums till the end. Oh, they got a speeding penalty. That is not going to do them any favours in this race. It could even be race over, that sort of penalty at this stage. But anyway, medium tyres going on as we switch back to the battle with his teammate and Formula Leon, who is looking to breeze past, maybe up the inside here, maybe onto the outside, but there's no room into turn 4. And he will have to wait a bit longer. Maybe the driving centre chicane will present an opportunity. He gets a good run. Is he going to go for a lunge? No, he backs out of it. Smart play. And Stewart has got Marco into turn 1, and Marco's going to get him back. That's not a complete overtake. Or is it, if he can hold on up the inside? And he does. Or does he, as Marco tries to switch back again? 2 switchbacks in a row from Marco, but it's not enough this time. Will he be able to do a third? In towards and up towards turn 4. No, that's an overtake from Stewart. Or was Stewart already ahead? Stewart runs wide. They stay in the same positions. Or was Stewart behind? Somebody tell me. Was Stewart behind originally? Yeah, he was. That's an overtake from Stewart. And that is a pit lane for the 2 stoppers of David Hoy, Callum Pearce, and Conor McCabe. So how far has David got to catch the leader? About 10 seconds, no? Maybe more. 9.6. That is very doable if you ask me. Out of the pits comes Callum Pearce right beside the McLaren of Justin. We could have a scrap here. We got 3 or 4 cars quite close together, all on fresh tyres, apart from Justin, who's actually on 6-lap old tyres here. Here we go then, Callum Pearce wasting no time to close up to the back of him, but he can't get past into T4. Oh, finally a heli shot. That's what we like to see. Conor McCabe cruising up to the back of these 2 as well. Going to be setting themselves up for that run down to turn 1. Already 100% battery now for those 2. And this is good for Justin to try and save battery while they have 100% behind him, as Mitch gets a penalty. Will there be a lunge? No, there will not be a lunge. This could get spicy into T1 as here goes Conor McCabe up the inside of Callum Pearce. This is 4 podium places and he's through. That is an overtake. Will he be able to hold on to it? Callum seemed happy to let him by. And he gets a much better run than Callum out the final corner. And now he's going to pull to the inside on the McLaren to try and get past at the earliest opportunity. And put a car in between him and his main rival. He does just that. Can Callum Pearce follow him through round the outside of the McLaren? It will turn into the inside for turn 3 if he can have the grip. And he does so. Another 2 overtakes there. Nicely done from the Ferrari driver. As the McLaren runs a bit wide, is now under pressure from the Aston Martin of Emily on the fresh medium tyres. Nicely switched back up the inside into turn 6. A little bit unstable on entry, bouncing over the curb, nearly crashing into his rival, but gets away with it. And that is an overtake complete. Number 39. There's more action still, it looks like. Callum Pearce is not giving this up. He's all the way on the back of Conor McCabe. Their job is to chase down the leader, Formula Leon, if possible. David Hoyt's doing that already. He's gained 2 seconds already. Here comes Callum Pearce. Will they work together or will they battle? It's a tall order to actually fight the leader here. So maybe they'll just be best battling for the podium here. Emily behind them has dropped off behind 1 second. So it looks like a 2-horse race for P3 here. Still following him round, carefully watching where to place his car and setting up a move. Hopefully, as there's a yellow flag at the final corner. Is it Daniel Bakalik again? It is. 3 times lucky at the final corner. 3 spins or half spins. But he carries on without any damage. Here we go, then he sets it up. He runs a bit wide though onto the curb. Into the slipstream of the Aston Martin driver, but not even gaining at all, as both of them were using their overtake mode and their boost. Maybe this time he'll have a run. He has a bit more power than the driver ahead, as he almost pushes him through turn 2. Oh, big slide of oversteers. He got on the boost a bit early there. Looks like I'll have to wait another lap to try and get back on that podium. Meanwhile, out in front, Formula Leon is only 5.7 seconds clear of David Hoy. With 10 laps to go, it looks like David will catch him, but will he pass him? That is the question. We'll keep an eye on that gap. As here Marco was trying to gain on Stewart, but also Callum Pearce is all over the back of Conor McCabe once again here. They have similar battery levels. And he's going for a lunge, maybe into turn 13, but Conor just brakes late enough to avoid it. Could that have unsettled the Aston Martin driver, put him under pressure, make his wing mirrors all full of red Ferrari? I'm waffling a bit here. Will it be a dive bomb? He's got a bit of a run on him, but no, he's safe, he's sensible, and he will wait. He's patient. He gets a snap of oversteer. That's impatient. Ooh, too much on the raised concrete there of turn 2. Nearly unsettled the car. As there's a move, Marco up the inside of Stewart. Can Stewart fight it back? Or will it be a complete overtake? Stewart's going to try and go round the outside. It will turn to the inside for turn 3. We've seen people do this and make it stick. But no, Marco will hold on this time. And that is the 40th overtake of this race. But I'm sure Stewart will be back. These two seem pretty evenly matched today and have exchanged places multiple times. Speaking of exchanging places, Callum's got a great run through the high-speed corners on this track in towards Sector 3. Pushing him, literally contact with the rear diffuser of the Aston there. And he will set it up on the straight as David Hoy continues to close in on the leader. 3.6 seconds. We move back to the battle for P3. Callum Pearce now the closest he's ever been, but he's not gaining enough. He must have a bit more downforce on and just can't make the gains he needs to, but he's got a tighter line. And he can get a good exit. He's got a good exit this time. This is the best exit he's got out of T1 so far. Again, it's within lunging range, but not quite enough. Conor closes the door. There's a yellow flag. It is, shock horror, Daniel Bakalik once again cutting some grass. But these two still scrap away for the podium places. Callum Pearce putting all sorts of pressure on the Aston Martin driver. Will he catch him? Catch him out somewhere. Throw a surprise in there maybe. Or will he just play it safe into turn 1 and 2? Probably the wise thing to do. As we switch back to the other main battle, Stewart v Marco, who's losing places, or losing time even. 0.8 of a second the gap now as Callum Pearce is already alongside. He's gone off. He's gone off. There's been a bit of contact. He's locked up on that front left tyre. A bit of grass came on that tyre too, and then he got stuck on the curb. He's gone straight on, and he's lost 1 second to the car ahead. I didn't see how he got to that position, but it looked like there was space. And then a bit of contact between the drivers, pushing him onto that curb. That could be it for that battle. Unless he gets a really good lap and closes into within a second again. Whoever said 37 overtakes was pretty close, you know. Because we're on 40 as Bakalik retires from the race in the pit lane. And there's not many gaps that are close anymore. However, Marco and Stewart are close to Jack Cockayne. And of course, David Hoy is now 2.1 seconds off the leader. But catching is one thing and passing is another. So we will see if he can get it done. Mitch pulls into the pit lane for another pit stop. Down in the 11th place. We'll still get some points for that, of course. Points for showing up today, pretty much. If you finish. Puts on the soft tyres, go for the fastest lap as Marco makes a mistake. And that's going to allow Stewart to get right back on the back of him again. These two can resume their battle. Also, Callum Pearce has already gained back on Conor McCabe. So their battle can resume. There are more overtakes in store here, with 6 and a bit laps to go. The most significant one could be for the lead of the race. 1.3 seconds now the gap. When David gets in overtake mode, he's just going to have to conserve some battery for a bit. And then they can have 4 or 5 laps to scrap it out for the win. Battles starting everywhere as Stewart goes really deep, almost into the back of Marco, rejoins, and I assume he will catch up because Jack Cockayne is struggling on 16 lap old hard tyres here, trying to hold on to a really good P7 finish as Stewart gets a time penalty. There it is, that time penalty we were looking out for from somebody. Here's Callum Pearce though. Is he going to go for the same move again to the outside? No, he goes for the inside. He goes for a late lunge. Is there more contact between the two of them? It looks like it. Conor McCabe runs off the track and maintains the position. Meanwhile, David Hoy is all over the back of Formula Leon now with 5 laps to go. He's going to have a great chance to get past for the lead, but there's a snap of oversteer. Is there going to be a move for the lead? No, there isn't. Is there going to be a move for P3? Yes, there is. A bit of a defence from Conor McCabe, but no. No lunge on the brakes from Callum Pearce. Instead, he just tried to brake early and get a better exit. It's not worked out for him. He will have to wait another lap. Marco's too far back to do anything. But what about the front two? 56% battery for Formula Leon, 54% for David Hoy. They're very equal on battery at the moment, which is all you need really to get down the main straight here. Here's Marco on Jack Cockayne further back on the lap. 3 battles to keep an eye on here. We're going to watch David Hoy because this is for the lead. Callum always gains through that section of track, and he's not got a good run this time. Don't think he can send one. He doesn't. Can David Hoy send one into T1? This is the defence from Formula Leon to the right hand side, and I think he's got enough for this first attack. Or has he? David Hoy down the inside with a late lunge for the lead of the race. He gets it stopped nicely. He gets it turned in nicely, but Formula Leon has the better exit and will be able to maintain the lead for now. Will David send one into T2? No, he won't. But that's the first little sighter for him of the lead of the race. He scoped out his opposition there, and now we'll be thinking about what he can do differently to make it work the next time. Callum Pearce locks up, trying to put pressure on Conor McCabe. That will give Conor McCabe a bit of breathing space for a half a lap or so. Marco is now pushing to get past Jack Cockayne, who's got another 4 laps to do on his tyres to get to the end. He's also only got 10% battery to fight with here. This is going to be difficult for the Cadillac. Marco's going to have a run here, maybe going into turn 4. Will he go to the outside? He does. Is he going to be on the grass? Is he going to make it stick? No, he runs off the track slightly, but he does get the position. He gives the position back. He gives it back, and now he will try and retake it into the driving centre chicane, but he has to settle behind for now. Meanwhile, back for the lead. 80% big slide for David Hoy out the final corner, and that will cost him the chance at having a go at the lead. And round goes Stuart Bradbury in that fight for P7. Jack Cockayne's fended one of them off. Can he fend the other off? Here comes David Hoy. He's too far back. What about Callum Pearce? There's an Audi getting out of the way under blue flags, exiting the pit lane. The other Audi has 100% battery compared to Jack's 60% battery. I'm flicking between all the battles. Oh, and I've missed one. Jack Kane's made a mistake out the final corner. And he's lost the place. Down into P8, but P8's not a bad finish. Overtake 41. What can David do? Formula Leon's got 3 more laps at turn 1 to hold out here. He's saving battery in this part of the track. He's defending in this part of the track. David goes to the outside. Is there room there? We've already seen an incident there between 2 other drivers. He switches it back beautifully. Formula Leon pushes him to the outside of this long left-hander. And David Hoy has the grip to hold on, and he's through. But the overtake mode now switches to Formula Leon, who will surely use all his battery down the straight to try and fight back. I'm counting that as an overtake, even if he does re-overtake him here. Is this it for Formula Leon, or is this the win in the bag for David Hoy? Formula Leon dives down the inside. There's contact between the 2 leaders. There's front wing damage for Formula Leon. It was a late, desperate lunge. It had to be. It was the only way he was going to stay in this lead fight. And David Hoy turned in on him, potentially rightfully so. And he will hold on to the lead of this race. Formula Leon has damage, and that is that. For your podium, Callum Pearce is trying to go down the inside where there's no room, as there's an Audi, a back marker, getting past both of them on soft tyres, going for a fastest lap attempt. Callum is getting frustrated. He's getting frustrated, that is for sure. Jack Kane's done a good job to stick in overtake mode of Marco after being passed on the 7 lap older tyres. And yeah, David Hoy is now gap 2.4 to Formula Leon. I respect the dive bomb. I'll give you that. Anyway, will there be any more dive bombs? Callum Pearce has been stuck behind Conor McCabe for lap after lap after lap. They had contact at this corner a few laps ago. And is he going to go for a send here into the penultimate corner? No. Conor has a bit more battery to use on this straight. He's actually pushing him around the corner, nearly spinning him into the wall there. That would have been a terrible incident. But once again, Conor McCabe holds on. Where is Callum going to surprise him? That's the point we're at now. Conor knows into turn 1 he's safe. Into turn 2 he's safe. Into turn 4 he's safe. What about turn 11? Or turn 12 rather, where he was caught out before? What about the driving centre chicane? Get a little run there and then park it after that. Both of them using lots of battery up till this point. Callum Pearce running wide. Will there be a lunge into the driving centre chicane? As I said, he needs to surprise him. He does surprise him. He pushes him off the track. That looked pretty deliberate from the helicam. But he does not gain the position. Maybe he locked up and we didn't quite see because we were far away. It did look like he sort of just turned into him there. Conor McCabe holds on. Callum Pearce gets a great run despite the oversteer, and he's now going to send one into turn 12. Surely, is there going to be more contact between the 2 of them? No, it's actually quite controlled between both of the drivers there. Conor McCabe holding on. Let's go on board with his rear wing. 70% battery. He's got 30% battery advantage as he heads onto the final lap. That's why the Ferrari was getting so desperate. Easily covered off into turn 1 here. Will it be the same story into turn 2? Looks that way. Will he surprise him at the driving centre chicane again? Or maybe into turn 4. I don't think he's going to have the battery to do so because this is a deploy zone. We're going to stay on board with Callum Pearce as long as we can here because I think he will surprise him. He's boosting now, but so is Conor McCabe, who can afford to use all of it on this lap. Unlike the last one, that's a slap of oversteer that's going to cost the Ferrari a chance of getting past potentially. It's too soon to switch to that. Because this is the run we want to see out of turn 11. Who's going to get the better run? Stuart Bradbury's got a time penalty. Conor McCabe has defended to the inside and leaves just enough space on the outside. David Hoy crosses the line to win in Hungary. But who will get on the podium? It looks like Conor McCabe has done enough. As Callum tries to fight it round the final corner, Formula Leon crosses the line to finish P2. And Conor McCabe finishes in third, ahead of a frustrated Ferrari driver in fourth. Emily will be fifth on the road, but does have 10 seconds of penalties for speeding in the pit lane. And that could cost him 2 positions here if Marco can keep within 2 seconds of the car in front. Justin crosses the line in P6. He will take P5 on the on penalties. Marco gets it on pens as well. Jack Cockane finishes in 8th. Stuart in 9th. Caleb on softs will be in 10th place. Who got the fastest lap of the race? David Hoy did, so he picks up a maximum points haul today. Pole position, fastest lap of the race, a 2-stop strategy to win. It's a masterclass from David Hoy, and it's not in Baku. Who would have thought it? The official overtake counter for the race was 42, so well done everybody. Some of those weren't really overtakes, they were sort of half spins, so it's probably about 10 less, but whoever said 37, that was a good guess. I'll give you that. But that was a good end to that race. And we're not going to mess about. We're going to get straight into the interviews. Because I have things to do, mate. Hold on, I need to actually screenshot the top 3. I don't know who the top 3 are. Oh my gosh, it's a clean sweep! A clean sweep for David Hoy. Driver of the day. Cleanest driver. Most overtakes. Fastest lap. And, of course, the race winner. He wins. Formula Leon second, Conor McCabe third. Let's get them in the interview room. David Hoy, Leon. I'm assuming that's Leon. Conor. Interviews. Alrighty. Let's have a quick look at the race director. There's your race result. 2 DNFs. I did take a screenshot. Good. There is your race director. Not too long today, but of course not many drivers. Let's get straight in the interview room. Bayode has decided to join the wrong interview room for some reason. We've been joined by 2 of the top 3 already. Let's go to the interview screen. Hello indeed. Wait, is my overtake counter still there? No, it's on the other screen. Conor McCabe does not want to interview, probably because of his... Actually, no. Well, he had some potential incidents with Callum there. But anyway, let's speak to the top 2. Leon in P2. And, of course, David, the winner. We'll start with Leon. Congratulations, a good race result for you. Obviously, you went for the one-stop strategy, which was the main difference between you and David. And it ultimately was very close at the end between the 2 of you. How were those last few laps for you? Obviously, you got past and then you had to go for a bit of a desperate lunge, but anyone would have done the same. So, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, pretty stressful. Pretty stressful just watching the time come down 2 seconds a lap. Aside from that, I could race. I had a good start, surprisingly. Got into the lead, but it's just the battery management. I was not good again. And also, tires were just... As soon as David boxed, I knew I had to just go for the 1 because, yeah, realistically, I didn't have the pace to box the lap after and catch back up. So, yeah, just tried the 1. Didn't pay off. Nearly did, but again, sorry David for that move. I just had to try something.
Oh yeah.
But overall, I'm happy though. Started 4th after full quali, and yeah, nice to be back on the podium again.
Good. I don't really know what else to say. You've summarised it very well. So was your original plan a 2-stop and then you changed it, or were you just playing it by ear sort of thing?
I was honestly just going with it, but by the time by the time I'd looked at what the tyres were doing, I mean, they didn't feel great. You could just see the tyre wear was ridiculous. And at that point, I had to just commit to one and just hope, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of got caught behind the Aston, well, both Astons actually, for a couple laps, which was a little bit painful. But again, I'm happy, you know.
Good stuff.
It's a good race.
3 races to go. Any of them you're looking forward to? Belgium, Austria, and Silverstone. Are you here for all of them?
I will be, yeah. Belgium, I'm not so sure because that's going to be just chaos with battery.
True.
That's going to be tens left, right, and centre. But yeah, I'll just take them as it goes and see what happens. I think I've found a bit of form in the second half, so hopefully I can just be consistent top 5 now till the end.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Moving on to your race winner, someone we don't speak to very often. Shock. But he turns up when it matters and when it's Baku. And today it wasn't Baku, but he still came out with the win. A 2-stop strategy, which was the right one in the end. He made the overtake stick. He didn't get taken out by a torpedo, and he won the race. How do you feel, David? When was your last win? Baku last season?
I actually have no idea. I'm not going to lie to you. It was probably a Baku or a China. At some point. Yeah, it was definitely Baku. Was it last season? It might have been the season before. I think it was the one where I neeked my way into a win by reporting a pit entry, but a win's a win.
A win is a win, and you got another one today.
Somehow.
How did you do it? Tell me.
Well, I want to both shout out and thank the people who decided not to turn up to today's race, who would have probably all been faster than me.
Was that the top 5 in the championship by any chance?
It might include them. Excellent work. There's 3 races left, so there's 3 more opportunities to do the same thing. Yeah, and any effort on that side would be very, very grateful. Although you probably should turn up because we like larger grids. But other than that, I practiced a little bit as well. Mainly just qualifying, so my qualifying has been rubbish all season. I had by my standards, a good lap, and thankfully it stayed on pole. Race start was rubbish. I managed to bog down and wheel spin, which was a new experience for me. I don't recommend it. I think crucially I was able to get back in front of Callum, and I guess it's easier to dictate what lap you box if you're not leading. I was always going to 2-stop anyway, and I was happy. I nearly boxed lap 6, but thankfully no one came in, so I thought I've definitely got to go for lap 7. And yeah, the level of undercut was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and then at the end you got past him, just about, set it up, and then obviously he went for a dive bomb, which I think was perfectly reasonable.
Very, very reasonable. Yeah, you got to try and do something if you're behind.
Yeah.
Like if you know you're behind on tyres, you got to try and do something to try and just sit in front. 'Cause you can do that around Hungary. But like I didn't come off it with like any damage. I didn't even really lose time. I was like, I'm gonna leave some space, but like obviously we are fighting for a win, so I'm gonna turn for the corner at some point.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, isn't it? Absolutely fine to go for a send. So yeah, no worries there. But yeah, I think I got lucky with the traffic as well. Kind of hit it at good times, and thankfully the traffic I encountered was very civil, which I'm surprised by considering it's F2. But yeah, that all definitely contributed as well.
Yeah, I think you didn't pit down far enough to get into the chaos. the sort of the Audis, shall we say? They were called
The Audis, shall we say?
Yeah, they were a bit.
I had to get past Mitch, but
That's one.
the grip difference was night and day. And I don't think Mitch is having the best time in this game anyway, so I could kind of see that one on a court.
But he does race in every single tier, so. That's
he's always here, and we love him. He's very committed, but yeah, no, I can't imagine he's having the best time in this game. It's not the nicest thing to drive, but
no, it's not.
It's not like it's a different F1 game that we can play.
No. Yeah, how are you looking forward to the next few races? Belgium, Austria, Silverstone.
I'll just say I'm glad I wasn't the one to put them on the calendar, because they all sound horrible.
Okay.
Spa's probably going to be the best out of all of them because Sector 2 exists, and I think you'll just see pass and repass on the back straight and then the main straight. But Silverstone you want to deploy everywhere and you can't. Austria you want to deploy everywhere and you can't. Apart from maybe end of Sector 2, but that's very slim for a 65-second lap, so I think it's going to be pretty rubbish to drive. I think
Chaotic.
everyone. It's going to be chaotic as well. It's going to be overtakes left, right, and centre.
A bit like Brazil, maybe.
Maybe.
Alright, thank you very much. And thank you everyone for participating. And let's have a look at the final overtake count, which was, drumroll please, I swear it was 42. 42 overtakes. Yeah.
Jeez.
Some of them were when someone had spun, so they don't really count. But yeah, it is what it is. That is it. That is it. There'll be more than 43 overtakes tomorrow. There will be more. There won't be, but you should watch anyway because I'm driving. And yeah, that's it. We're done here. So, goodbye.